The man had been preparing for the abduction for many years, but he did not take into account that an ancient monster lived in the forest. David starts the car. They say on the radio that the weather will only get worse. Now the temperature is minus 45 degrees Celsius, but already at minus 25 people can get severe frostbite. While driving, David notices an advertisement for coffee and decides to make a stop. Anna works in this cafe, and her phone receives 13 missed calls from Vincent, and in order to answer the call, 2 visitors thank you for the coffee and leave the cafe. Anna approaches David. He asks for a cup of hot coffee and a juicy steak. Anna asks for forgiveness since the cook has already left, but they still have their signature pie. Suddenly, Vincent stops next to the cafe. This really scares the girl. A fight begins between them. David stands up for the girl. This will infuriate Vincent, and he offers to repeat the words. The man approaches the table, throws away coffee and takes someone else's pie. Then he spits in the pie and orders to eat it. David is not going to do this, and then Vincent takes out a knife. David takes off his glasses and offers 2 options. Number 1. There are no surveillance cameras in the cafe, but there are 2 witnesses. If he touches any of them, he will have to go to prison. Number 2. Vincent just walks away and quits drinking. Perhaps then he can convince the judge that he can visit his daughter. Vincent thinks about the conversation and leaves. Anna apologizes for this scene. As a sign of gratitude for the power, he offers to cook a steak. David asks for it cooked rare. After dinner, he continues on his way. Gasoline is almost gone, but the gas station is so successful. Vincent was driving along this road and notices David's car. To make sure it's really him, he waits for David to leave the store. The police arrive at the gas station. This ruins Vincent's plan. We have to continue surveillance. A little later, David pulls off onto a dark road, and he notices that he is being chased. Vincent tries to overtake the car, but David speeds up. Because of this, it easily moves forward. He pulls over to the side of the road and turns off the lights. Vincent doesn't notice David and drives on. A couple of minutes later, David tries to leave, but due to the low weather, the glass is covered with frost. He tries to wipe off the frost and crashes into a snowdrift. The car gets stuck in the snow. David tries to push the car out, but nothing works. Then he tries to dig out the wheel, but the snow literally burns through his hands. To warm up his fingers, David returns to the car. He takes out his phone, but there is no connection. Several hours later, he still failed to escape. Due to the very low temperature, his face began to freeze. A new day is coming. In order not to lower the temperature in the cabin, he decides to go to the toilet in a small bottle. David remembers that there are binoculars in the glove compartment. He looks for signs of life and notices a small column of smoke. Then he opens the trunk, in which Anna was lying tied up all this time. He orders not to go anywhere. When the trunk is closed, Anna tries to untie her hands. She succeeds, but opening the trunk from the inside is not so easy. She gets the idea to knock out the column and get out into the car. At this time, David goes out onto the frozen river. There is still no connection here, which is why I have to go back to the car. While walking through the forest, he accidentally falls into a hole and breaks his leg. At this time, Anna tries to run away, but the temperature was so low that she decides to go back to the car. In just 2 minutes, signs of frostbite appeared on her face. In the glove compartment was the drug that David used to put the girl to sleep. Experiencing severe pain and loss of blood, David miraculously crawls to the car. Anna tries to behave as quietly as possible. David cuts his pants and performs first aid. Anna notices the knife, and David opens the glove compartment. He slowly reaches for the knife, but Anna puts him to sleep. When he came to, his hands were tied to the steering wheel. Anna orders him to sit still, or else she will kill him. She wants some answers. Firstly, where are they located? David assures her that he doesn't know, but somewhere in the area of the Black Mountains. He threw away her phone, but his phone doesn't get a signal. Anna is sure her mother has already noticed the loss and called the police. David replies that he sent her messages that she and Vincent were on vacation. Anna wants to understand why he decided to kidnap her, but even David doesn't have an answer. He also admits that he has a compound fracture, and also that she was not the first person he kidnapped. Previously, he used chloroform, but in order for a person to lose consciousness, you need to hold the rag for 5 minutes. This is a very long time, because people are trying to escape. If their breathing is too fast, they will die. David is not interested in this. He needs control. Anna calls herself free. He cannot control her. This makes David laugh, since she has only two choices: rapid death outside or slow inside the cars. Strange freedom. He imagines how she managed to get out of the trunk, but she couldn't run far and had to be returned to the car. Now there is a shark and its prey in the car. Anna is going to wait for the storm to end and back away to escape. David is ruining her hopes. They don't have clothes to survive the low temperature. Anna recalls that when a person finds himself in an emergency situation, the body tries to survive. On the other hand, many factors cause hypothermia. Among them are injuries. It's unlikely David survives. He offers to stay in the car with him. Whether she likes it or not, they have the same problem. To survive, you need to save fuel and turn on the heating for no more than a couple of minutes a day. A person can survive without food, but without heat, he is doomed. Anna realizes that he is telling the truth and turns off the car. Then she examines his wallet. It stores various ID cards. Anna once again asks why he didn't kill her, and she tells his theory about megalomania. David denies this. If he just wanted her, she would have died already. David wants to sleep a little. She needs sleep too. Anna is not going to fall asleep next to him. David assures her that this is inevitable. Because of this, Anna puts David to sleep. He comes to himself only closer to night. Anna decides to go to the toilet. Taking advantage of her absence, David blocks the car. Anna starts knocking while David tries to untie hands. Anna gets an idea since he's condemning her to death. Nothing prevents her from breaking the glass and strangle David. Anna realizes that she is not a monster, which is why she lets go of the belt. To prevent cold air from entering the cabin, she seals the hole with tape. David's phone contains many photos of her and her family being annoyed. In the box is an ID card among the girls. There are so many victims on his account that he even stopped counting. Casey was the first one. He then tried to understand women's psychology and tested different methods of gaining confidence. He deliberately put on the ring and scattered soft toys in the car. It was clear in her eyes that she saw in him a weakling who wouldn't hurt a fly. This was a big mistake. She felt like she was in control of the situation. But a little later, she began to suspect something and suggested stopping the car. Hysterics began, and David lost his temper. 2 days later, she was found. The news started playing on TV. She turned out to be the judge's daughter. David had to hide for several weeks. To prevent this from happening again, he changed his approach to hunting. The next one was an emigrant. No one even looked for her. It was then that he realized who he needed to look for. David says that in the evening in a cafe, a spark flew between them. She always liked aggressive men. Anna is tired of listening to his words, which is why she tapes her mouth shut. A little later, someone started walking around the car. The footsteps are very loud. It can't be a person. The creature climbs onto the roof and tries to break through the glass. David asks to start the car, and the creature runs away. Anna is trying to find the approximate area where they could be. Indians lived here. They had a legend about a spirit living in the forest. He hunts evil people. They say the first thing he does is come in his sleep. The most amazing thing is that when David was sleeping, he actually dreamed of a monster. Suddenly, the battery is running low. The car won't start anymore. In order to at least somehow warm up, they try to stay as close to each other as possible. David asks not to fall asleep, otherwise they will never wake up. He is very sorry that he became a villain. His whole life went downhill when the father ran away from the family. He talked about his life for so long that he managed to untie one of his hands. David practically kills the girl. But a monster appears and drags David into the forest. Screams begin to be heard from there. That night, a man came along the road. He noticed the car. Next to it lay the remains of David. And in the trunk, miraculously, Anna is alive. This is where the film comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comment. See you very soon. Bye.